isn't for everyone. Some people resent the idea of dying a lot. Some people don't enjoy a challenge. Some people have the motor skills of a banana, etc. I was bored, so I took to the rancid depths of the internet to trawl through some reviews of the series from these poor lost hollows. These are their stories. It's the original. It's the one that kicked it all off, if you don't count Demon Souls. It's the one that set the standard for difficult games, if you don't count Demon Souls. But what do you guys out there think? Well, let's kick things off with Sean Harvin, who took to Google to say, "Worst RPG ever made, all enemies are twice as strong as you, just happy I only paid $20 for it." This is indeed a good point, Sean. Why are all these enemies twice as strong as you when they're all giant undead knights and miniature dragons and ancient sorcerers, while you're basically beef jerky trying to spank them with a twig? It's baffling. I don't understand why you don't start the game being able to tank 30 sword swipes in a row from a literal god either. Alberto, also on Google, even a poorest game than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, Pokemon Sword and Shield is probably the second worst game ever made. Even worse than My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, or, one of those COD games with all the space guns and shit. Which means Dark Souls, the first, is a definite candidate for even poorest game of all time. Now, you may disagree with the previous criticisms of this game, but Steam user Cridley has an incontestable point to make, as he highlights the fact that this game is extremely bestial phobic and does not let me have sex with Framped. It's worth noting at this point that Cridley has put 172.5 hours into the game, of which presumably at least 160 was spent trying to sex up Framped. Still, I feel your pain, bro. I was personally in the corner Dark Souls 2 and think about what you've done. Is it a natural evolution for the series with improved combat mechanics and the best boss fights to date? Or is it a cheap bit of linear fan service that isn't fit to swallow the hairy interconnected scrotum of DS1? Well, let's take to the internet to find out. First stop, Google, where user Mike Champ opens up the proceedings by pointing out that "It's terrible, you can't kill the first boss, Dark Souls 1 is better." No mate, you can't kill the first boss. I can kill the first boss with one hand tied behind my back while jumping, just like that guy earlier said. I can kill the first boss while swimming the width of the Atlantic Ocean, being chased by sharks with laser beams on their heads. I can kill the first boss using a single Lego brick as a controller. I can kill the first boss while literally being dead. A diseased pigeon with raisins instead of eyes could kill the first boss. Get good, scrub. Cody Offord, meanwhile, laments the fact that he can't be T. Aldrichhead. Sad face. 6 people found this helpful. Jason McMahon clearly doesn't mince his words and spells out what we were all really thinking when he says, "Bad game, it is the worst game, I hate this game, Fortnite is better." You do make some wonderful points. A brave and heroic soul steps into the breach to write a hard-hitting, detailed essay on the game for the benefit of the rest of us illiterate losers. Such as Steam user Wen, who says, "Ethan, you are a borderline 7 hearts and I really don't know how I couldn't trust you after so long that I have trusted people like Stone and Space so much more they were also actually nice to me. I know you haven't heard of that, but it's not like you're ever going to bother to learn what anything is because you are just someone that backstabs people constantly and I don't understand why you refuse to improve yourself. You are a selfish 4 hearts and I'm going to take your advice. Unblock you. 4 hearts you, Ethan." Well, that really did get right to the meat of the sandwich. Perfect review. I give it 5 hearts out of 7. It's only fair, though, that I leave the final word to Steam user Autopath, who has a suitably chunky 122 hours in the game, and succinctly sums up the whole community's collective grief when he says, "Staggered by a naked man punching me while in Havels." We all feel your pain here, mate. Here you go, have a plim plim plom to make you feel a little better. Well, that was fun. I might have to do this again.